I still remember the exact moment I hit send on my resignation email. My hands were shaking, my chest felt tight, and I honestly believed my career at that company was over forever. What I didn't know was that one decision, made out of exhaustion and quiet desperation, was about to change my life in ways I never imagined. 3 days later, there was a knock on my front door that would challenge everything I thought I knew about leadership, kindness, and my own worth. Before we dive into the story, take a quick moment to support the channel. If stories about kindness, humanity, and unexpected life lessons touch your heart, please subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. This is MS Tales, and your support helps us keep these stories alive. I had worked at the company for 7 years. 7 long years of early mornings, late nights, missed family dinners, and countless cups of burnt office coffee. I wasn't lazy or ungrateful. I was loyal. I believed in working hard, keeping my head down, and earning my place one day at a time. But over the last year, something inside me started to break. My mother had gotten sick, my son was struggling in school, and bills kept piling up no matter how carefully I budgeted. At work, the pressure increased. Deadlines got tighter. Expectations grew, but appreciation didn't. I told myself to push through, like I always had. That's what responsible adults do, right? Still, every morning felt heavier. I'd sit in my car before work, gripping the steering wheel, trying to convince myself to go inside. Some days I did. Some days I cried. My CEO, Mr. Anderson, was someone I barely knew personally. He was respected, even admired, but also distant. To most of us, he was a name on emails and a face at quarterly meetings. The kind of leader who seemed to live in a different world from regular employees like me. So when I finally decided to quit, I didn't expect anything special. I wrote a polite email, thanked the company for the opportunity, and blamed it on personal reasons. I didn't mention the stress, the sleepless nights, or the feeling that I was slowly disappearing. When HR replied with a formal acceptance, I felt a strange mix of relief and fear. Relief that it was over. Fear because I had no backup plan. The next 2 days were quiet. Too quiet. On the third day, around 6:30 in the evening, I heard a knock on my door. I assumed it was a neighbor or maybe a delivery I forgot about. I opened the door casually and froze. Standing there was Mr. Anderson, not in a suit. Not surrounded by assistants. Just him, holding a small folder, looking almost nervous. For a second, neither of us spoke. My brain couldn't catch up with reality. "Hi," he said gently. "I hope this isn't inappropriate." I wanted to talk. I stepped aside, still stunned, and invited him in. He looked around my modest living room, noticing the worn couch, my son's school books on the table, and a framed photo of my mother from healthier days. He didn't comment. He just sat down, careful, respectful. "I accepted your resignation," he said quietly. "But I couldn't accept losing you without understanding why." I didn't know what to say. No boss had ever asked me that before. Not sincerely. I tried to keep it professional. I told him I was just tired, that life was complicated, that maybe it was time for a change. He listened without interrupting, his eyes focused, his phone untouched. After a moment, he asked, "Can I be honest with you?" I nodded. "You are one of the most consistent, kind, and dependable people in this company," he said. "You help others without being asked. You stay late when teammates struggle. You've trained half the staff in your department, and you never once asked for credit." His words hit me harder than I expected. My throat tightened. "I didn't know things were this hard for you," he continued. "And that's on me." I was shocked. A CEO taking responsibility? Sitting in my living room, he explained that years ago, he had burned out himself. Lost his marriage. Missed his kids growing up. All because he thought success mattered more than people. He told me he promised himself that if he ever saw someone drowning quietly, he wouldn't look away. "I came here," he said, "to tell you this. I accepted you quitting your position. But I'm not willing to lose you as a person." Then he opened the folder. Inside was a proposal. A flexible schedule. Remote work options. Temporary reduced hours with full benefits while I dealt with my family situation. Even access to company counseling resources I didn't know existed. I couldn't hold back my tears. "I'm not asking you to stay out of guilt," he said softly. "I'm asking you to stay because you matter." And because kindness should go both ways. No one had ever spoken to me like that at work. Not as an employee, but as a human being. That night, after he left, I sat alone on the couch for a long time. For the first time in months, my chest felt lighter. Not because my problems disappeared, but because someone finally saw me. I didn't decide immediately. Mr. Anderson told me to take my time. No pressure. No deadlines. A week later, I chose to stay, not just because of the job, but because of what that moment represented. A reminder that kindness isn't weak. It's powerful. It changes people. It changes cultures. Over the next months, things slowly improved. My mother stabilized. My son's grades picked up once I was home more. At work, I started speaking up, offering ideas, helping create better support systems for others who were struggling silently, just like I had been. And Mr. Anderson? He didn't turn into some perfect hero overnight. But he changed too. He started showing up more. Listening more. Leading with empathy instead of fear. Sometimes I think about how close I was to walking away from everything. How easily this story could have ended differently if one person hadn't chosen kindness over convenience. That knock on my door taught me something I'll carry forever. You never know what someone is battling behind a polite smile. And sometimes, the smallest act of understanding can save someone from giving up. So if you're watching this and feeling unseen, overwhelmed, or ready to quit on your job or on yourself, please remember this. Your value doesn't disappear just because you're tired. And kindness, whether given or received, has the power to rewrite endings. If this story moved you, let it move you forward. Check in on someone. Listen a little longer. Be the reason someone feels seen today, because kindness doesn't just change stories, it changes lives.